fasst sehr gut zusammen, was wir anhand unserer Einschätzung hier nach dem Lesen von vielen Nachrichten auch immer sagen. Katharina Reiche arbeitet ihrem Mentor Peter Altmaier nach. Peter Altmaier hat 2012, 2013 dafür gesorgt, dass die Unterstützung von Photovoltaikanlagen in Deutschland zusammengebrochen ist. Das Niveau von 2012, 2013 wurde im Photovoltaiksektor erst 2022, 2023 wieder erreicht. In diesen anderen 10 Jahren dazwischen wurde alles an China ausverkauft, die jetzt die Technologiehoheit in dem Sektor haben. Und der Förderungseinschnitt hat dafür gesorgt, dass die erneuerbare Umschwenkung, die logischerweise passieren muss mit den Absichtserklärungen von 2045, eingebrochen ist. Das kann man statistisch einfach nachweisen. Man kann sagen, okay, wie sah es 2012, 2013 aus? Wie sah es 2022, 2023 aus? Das ist auf einer Ebene. Alles, was dazwischen war, waren die Werke von Peter Altmaier, der damals gesagt hat, damals hat Katharina Reiche übrigens für ihn gearbeitet, der damals gesagt hat, warum zur Hölle, ich persifliere gerade, also ich sage es jetzt inhaltlich, warum sollten wir Photovoltaik und erneuerbare Energien fördern, wenn doch das gute alte fossile Gas zum Beispiel aus Russland so günstig ist? Katharina Reiche macht das Gleiche jetzt. In einer anderen Variante sabotiert sie wieder genau das, was sie von ihrem Chef damals gelernt hat. Und am Ende trifft es die Bevölkerung, weil ich habe es in meinen Streamtitel heute geschrieben, mysteriös. Wind- und Sonnenpreise steigen nicht trotz Iran-Krieg. Ja, aber wenn man abhängig ist von fossilen Brennstoffen und je mehr man abhängig ist von fossilen Brennstoffen, desto mehr wird man dafür den Preis bezahlen. Und den Preis bezahlen halt die Konsumenten, die einfachen Bürger, ne? Die Bürgers da draußen. Die bezahlen halt den Preis. Wenn du zur Tankstelle fährst und du musst halt deine fossile Brennstoffkarre tanken und hast nicht irgendwie eine Ladeinfrastruktur ausgebaut, dann bezahlst du das halt. Ne? Wenn du keine Wärmepumpe hast, sondern einen fucking Ölkanister in der Bude, dann bezahlst du das halt. Na dann, das ist doch jetzt schon scheiße. Das heißt ja nicht, dass du zu 100% davon wegkommen wirst. Aber es nicht zu fördern oder nicht zu unterstützen, heißt, dass es auch in der Zukunft scheiße wird. Das ist der letzte Artikel, den ich habe aus den Nachrichten. Ich danke euch für die Aufmerksamkeit heute. Ich hoffe, ihr habt ein bisschen was mitgenommen. Ein bisschen Informationen zusammengetragen, habt verstanden, was so im Iran los ist. Die Auswirkungen, die Preiserhöhung, woher das kommt,
Exploration
was es
and
dieser
trials.
Dieselmarke gibt, wer der neue Anführer,
Adventuring
der
is
potenzielle
right up
neue
my alley.
Anführer der iranischen Regierung ist und all diese Dinge. Danke auf jeden Fall für eure Aufmerksamkeit. Lest das gerne nochmal nach bei meinungsmache.de oder bei dem YouTube-Kanal Meinungsmache. Das ist richtig und wichtig. Das waren die Nachrichten. Dankeschön.
Rise with the sun!
You stole my purse with my passport in it. Police!
Scams, tourist traps, all of the above. Now, if that sent a chill down your spine, it did the same for me when I was looking into traveling to Germany for the first time. Now, see, a lot of people traveling to countries that they've never been to do a lot of research, typically if they're very interested in the place they're about to travel to. And one of the most common things that I think a lot of people look into are what are the tourist traps or attractions and possible scams they might get themselves into. There's a variety of other things as well, but on the more cynical side, I'd like to say people are trying to be a little bit more weary of possible scams and tourist attraction traps that they could possibly avoid when out and about and roaming into new territory. Now, I have been absolutely enthralled and borderline obsessed with Germany for the last, I'd say 7-8 years, and my dad actually used to travel out there for business when I was a little kid, and I told you guys this story 1,000,005 times, so the short version is I got on a phone call with my grandmother, and she had never really traveled like that before, and she was actually very terrified of Europe, and she told me specifically about Germany. If I ever decided to venture over there, I'd wake up in a bathtub full of ice cubes with both of my kidneys missing. Now, every single time I tell this story, people raise their eyebrows and they're like, your grandmother's crazy. And I have to agree, she's crazy. Because obviously that wasn't my experience when I traveled to Germany for the first time, and I have tons of friends that are out there. It was an absolutely remarkable experience, but there were questions I did ask before I flew out there. There was tons of videos I've reacted to on this channel that you guys can check out and watch me learn about the country in real time, where I was like, man, I wonder what things you should avoid when you travel to, let's say, Germany, for instance. But not just Germany, any European country. Because, of course, one of my goals is to travel to as many places in Europe as possible before I get to the damn viewers, welcome back. We are actively trying to chase 1 million subscribers, so help us out by liking the video and subscribing if you haven't. Now, one of the things I know that's going to make your eyes roll back in your skulls is the #1 complaint most Americans have when traveling to Europe, which is the fear of being pickpocketed. Now, I know the clapback is, oh, well, don't you guys have mass shootings in America? Yes, while you're correct, it does not eradicate the inevitable fear of pickpockets from Americans, and obviously our very inquisitive nature as to how to solve this problem.
A beautiful video came out a few days ago about the two beautiful ladies robbing an American tourist and American tourists blocking her and waiting there for an hour until the police arrives. And you know what? I'm all here for that. The problem of Italy is that pickpocketing is so normal that it's socially accepted and it's embedded in our culture. The thing is, if you go around with a watch and you get robbed, it's your fault. That's how normalized it became. Seeing foreigners coming to Italy and fighting against it makes me fall in love. It's so normalized that police took an hour to get there. And the funny thing is, throughout the whole thing, one of the two robbers got the purse of this lady and smashed it onto the lady. She ended up in jail, but I'm pretty sure that she will...
Instead of confining themselves to the heavens, God should broaden their horizons in the world below.
Went to save the girl in a bus, I think it was Germany, ended up in the hospital because the aggressor actually hit them back. As a European, first of all, I apologize for the crappiness of my society, how austerity towards this issue is creating this huge problem, also for tourists. Secondly, I am really appreciating of what you guys are doing.
Very interesting take, because notoriously every time I've heard this topic come up, I have heard tons of Europeans complain about the people fighting back against the pickpockets out there
find
around
anywhere
Europe.
else.
Now, specifically
try
Italy,
some.
for instance, I've heard a ton of people getting pickpocketed out there to a point where they had to travel out there with locks in their backpacks. And this is just Americans that I know personally that have been out there, and they're like, I love Italy, I love this place. But if you go to like the main touristy areas, make sure your stuff is extra close to you. Make sure you know exactly where everything is, and you constantly survey your items because they will go missing. I'm like, okay, well, can't you fight back against that? Because the first thing I thought is, well, what if you set traps inside of your own walls? I mean, no one will get trapped if they don't touch your stuff, but I guess people are getting in trouble for doing that, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. If they're your items, why is it so wrong to do something like that? People shouldn't be stealing them, so...
Speaking of social media, the shittier you make our governments feel about their choices in the past 20 years, the more something is more likely to happen. That is the beauty of social media. Social media is what led to a lot of changes in society, because being public, you can post anything and expose any kind of crap.
Also a very good point. One of the main things that has been able to push forward change everywhere in the world has been social media. Whether it be countries that traditionally don't budge on anything to countries that kind of take a lot of time to make some progress in the legal system. I'm telling you, throughout the United States, things have been accelerated because of social media, and I'm pretty sure that's the same sentiment everywhere in the world. So I guess as far as this goes, people posting their experiences, in this particular case, pickpocketing and whatnot, maybe they are cracking down a little bit harder, right? But I did hear that the governments were pretty lenient when it came to things like that, to the point where the tourists had to feel like they had to do something themselves. They knew that the cops weren't going to do anything, so they're like, okay, well, we have to take matters in our own hands. So what better way than to rig your items so that your items don't get stolen? Something harmless I was planning on doing before traveling was putting a bunch of fake wallets on myself, but instead of harming the person, if they took the fake wallet from me, right, the wallets are less than $1. I have a whole bunch of them. They just have like a joke in the wallet, so they have, it's like fake money, like Monopoly money, and then a joke written on the Monopoly money. Like, I thought it'd be funny as fuck, but a lot of work. But I'm saying, if I'm gonna get pickpocketed, might as well make it funny, right?
Go to Italy and you see situations, post about it. Make talk about the shit that is happening in my country, because we need to alert our mayors and everything. You might be doing more of a service to Italian society than the average law enforcement and government.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like social media has been a godsend with things like this, right? So not just this, but let's just use America for an example, because no, obviously this video kind of poking a little fun at Europe, but I don't know if the world, let alone the citizens of the United States, would even know how serious the events that took place with ICE would even be if you did not have the stream of viral videos showing exactly how gruesome and unprofessional and horrific the ICE organization has been behaving towards people, towards everyone in general. It's been actually crazy, and I think the fact that people have been able to see this almost firsthand through personal experience.
A half step too high, perhaps. Let's try that again, shall we?
Hey there, Columbina! Wait, are you teaching the Kohenki how to play the lyre?
Yes. They were so happy to have it fixed. They They practically haven't left my side. Playing the lyre has never been my forte, though. I'm more accustomed to hearing others play.
Oh, right. If you had a band, you'd totally be in charge of vocals, huh? When it comes to instruments, though, the Traveler's pretty much a prodigy. From the lyre to the drum, this one can do it all.
Oh, is that so? In that case, perhaps you could teach them instead. I was having them practice the song I usually sing. Perhaps you remember how it goes. Or a different tune works as well. Rarely do the Kuhenki get to hear music from other places. I would be quite interested to hear something like that too.
Wenn ich jetzt Optionen kriege, ne, was ich spielen darf, das wäre cool. Darf ich? Darf ich? Ich mag den Song von Columbina, was sie immer singt. Der Mondsong, der ist super. Erinnert mich einfach an Halo so ein bisschen. Aber mehr emotional, weil jetzt nur einer singt, anstatt so eine ganze Gruppe. Wir versuchen mal etwas anderes.
How curious. I have heard melodies like this before, but your playing lends a whole new dimension.
Ah, maybe because the Traveler was channeling his emotional connection to that place.
What's curious is that I feel as if I can picture the landscape just by listening to the melody. I wonder how the real thing compares to my imagination.
You should just go see it someday. We can be your tour guides.
Perhaps, if that day ever comes.
Welcome to Palais Mermoni. Welcome to Palais Mermoni.
Oh, you're dripping wet. That must be uncomfortable. Let's take a break. I'll use my fire to dry you off. Instead of confining themselves to the heavens, God should broaden their horizons in the world below.
Zunge rausschneiden. Au. Oh, die Vorstellung. Du kannst ja nie widersprechen. Vor allem die Schmerzen müssen barbarisch sein. Das ist ja Muskelgewebe und alles. Und da sind ganz viele Nerven in der Zunge. Oh. Das ist ein bisschen hart als Strafe. Von 100 Soldaten, weil die ein bisschen schlecht über ihn geredet haben, hat er den persönlich die Zunge rausgeschnitten. Uff. Ich muss mal gucken, ob ich jemanden finde, der es für mich gravieren kann. Hier auf der anderen Seite zum Beispiel hier muss eingravieren wie Glück oder sowas. Das auch drauf verlegen. Ich lasse mal mit. Ich hab noch mein Gutes. Ich hab das Problem. Moment. Ich komm gleich wieder. Das ist so.
experiences, it's been propelling the negative sentiment towards them, as it should, worldwide. And it's incredible that we have the ability to spread awareness like that, because without it, I feel like it would be real easy to kind of push things under the table like they literally have been for the last like 30, 40, 50 years. Up until recently, there are tons of issues that have gone radio silent or totally ignored because there were no eyes on them, or there weren't the right eyes on them to have a major push for change to be invoked, right? So it's kind of crazy that something like this, the whole pickpocketing fiasco, right? There's so many videos I've seen of various people going through that experience, and there's a ton. If you don't believe me, go ahead, stop this video and just look up pickpocketing in Europe. That's it. There are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of videos of people having a story about that, and it's crazy. That's why this is even included in the video. Like, it's a real problem, but not on the same scale as a lot of issues in the United States. It's just so much of a petty, annoying problem that people are like, well, what can you guys even do about it? If you guys can't do anything about it, what can we do to prevent ourselves from being victims of it? Europeans learning about fuck around and find out culture is my favorite.
You might want to get a
fuck around and find out. That is a very iconic acronym that I'm pretty sure no one will ever forget. Very powerful. But apparently right now, America's finding out the same thing internationally. In America, it's ingrained in us that you never ever start anything, but if someone starts something with you, you have a right and responsibility to defend yourself. Now, I'm not entirely sure how that sentiment carries over in any European country. Are you guys allowed to defend yourself if something happens to you, or do you have to go through the justice system immediately and let them take the reins? Because again, that is definitely an American mindset. If something happens to you, you have every right to defend yourself. Now, I will say this, that is a US defaultism, because here in South Korea, where I'm at right now, let me tell you what you can't do. And also let me tell you what you can do. In the United States, if someone hits you, for instance, you're allowed to hit them back. It is called self-defense. Now, here in South Korea, if someone hits you and you hit them back, but when you hit them back, you hit them back with harder force, you're getting locked up. Sir or ma'am, you're getting locked up. Yes, you heard that right. You can't really defend yourself. They don't do that out here. They do not do that here. Let the authorities handle it, okay? Because especially if you're a foreigner, you're extra cooked. You can't put your hands on locals at all. Like, you literally cannot. The justice system is almost always in their favor unless they did something absolutely egregious. You just can't do it. If somebody, like a local, could come up to you and smack you stupid style, and if you hit them back, you're cooked. You don't live here, or you're not a legal citizen here, so you're cooked. It's crazy. If the US had free healthcare, we'd all be going full Batman. Unironically, I think that is the truth. Now, I wouldn't, because that's not my problem. Not my business, not my problem. Listen, all I'm trying to do is make sure I lay low for the most part, and stay out of people's way for the most part. So I know I'm loud and I wear wild shit, so obviously I'm gonna be spotted. I stand out, right? I completely stand out everywhere I go, but I'm not there to cause problems, is what I'm saying. So I'm not there to rescue people or stop things from happening or whatever, but I am there to have a cool experience, learn some new things, and peace out.
Why are Americans so intense about pickpocketing? Why do Americans care so much about pickpocketing? Bitch, we kill people on our Black Fridays. We kill them. We kill people on Popeye's chicken sandwich. That's what we do. Sorry, we don't have universal health care, right? So a lot of us need mental health help that we probably should be.
Well, there's a point to be made there. I mean, it's not right, but it explains the logic behind it. Like I said, it's not right. But literally, especially where I'm from, I've witnessed somebody almost get beaten to death just for looking at somebody wrong. That's in the United States of America. So of course, if someone steals something off of a person's body, we go in kill mode like that. I feel like we go in kill mode over nothing. You guys see it? You guys make the jokes about the school shootings. It's school. We should be learning. But I guess target practice is what we're learning in school.
An American getting pickpocketed in Europe is like putting a lion in a petting zoo filled with, I don't know, whatever lions eat.
So, how do y'all feel about this? Let me know in the comments down below, because again, one of the things that I feel like a lot of people, even myself, was worried about, and I still sometimes worry about it, I'm not gonna lie, was the pickpocketing. I mean, what are other things you can worry about in Europe, right? I mean, there are probably a few other things, language barriers, financial transactions, things like that, but pickpocketing, I'm worried about the pickpockets. I have a lot of things I'd like to, do out there and stuff, and I'm like, rats. my items got taken off of my person. And in some places, it's pretty rampant. But I'm pretty sure people have that same fear traveling to the United States with, you know, their life sometimes, depending on where they travel to. Like Los Angeles, beautiful, beautiful city. But, you know, if you stumble in the wrong area, your soul might get snatched. Same with Chicago, New York. If you are in the wrong place at the wrong time, you're dunzo bunzo. That's where your story ends. Because it's mine? True, that's it. That's why Americans care about the pickpocketing thing, because our belongings are our belongings. When you travel to any country, I know you understand where I'm coming from, but let me just humor you really quick. When you travel to any country, how would you respond if something got stolen off your person? You would initially, you'd freak out, but maybe not on the person that stole your item. You would probably go to the authorities. Now, what happens if the authorities don't respond, or they let the person go? Because let's say the person who stole your items acts as if they didn't steal your items. Oh, I don't know what they're talking about. And the cops are like, oh, okay, well, you're free to go. What do you do then? They tell us that we are uneducated, yet they can't figure out why I don't want my money, passport, and purse to get stolen. Especially that. I would freak out if my passport got stolen, as you should too. If your passport gets stolen and you're out and about, how are you getting a new passport? I mean, you can provide information to your local embassy, right? But you need something to verify that you're you, that they can physically see on you, because I don't think word of mouth is going to work like that. Well, these are why I thought the 100 Americans versus 100 Brits was insane to me. Throwing a snake into a bunny enclosure. Oh my God! All right, anyways, let's move on to this next video.
That lady grabbed that like its own hand and said, "Play with me if you want." My question is, if y'all as in foreigners, y'all as in other people from other countries, if y'all already have us in your minds as aggressive, crazy, uneducated.
Listen, man, I'm not gonna lie. I think if you rob an American out there in Europe, you don't have to rob us. We do fight back. It's kind of just an instinct. It's not even like something we think twice about. If you touch anything on our body, typically, a typical American is gonna fight back. Robbing me without a gun in Europe? Oh, you're gonna find out. Listen. Common mentality with a lot of people from the United States. Listen, we're very friendly. We know, la 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 la, whatever. You guys make fun of us being dumb and whatnot. It's all fun and games until, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna have to put the universal health care to work. You know what I'm saying? It's all fun and games until you run out of all the fun and games. Yo, that is probably the wildest thing I've seen in this entire video. This motherfucker covered his entire cell phone in razor blades. Moral of the story, don't steal.
So this is the first scam that I saw. These guys put paintings on the floor in super busy areas, and if you step on them, you demand for paint. If you do step on them, either say you pay them in front of the police or run them. This is the second scam. Somebody will come up to you, introduce themselves, and then it gives you a free bracelet. That bracelet is actually after this kind of thing, you will demand for paint. They're really pretty, they're really
The bracelet scam is like super common. I've encountered
Burn it down!
I went out, I was on vacation. Literally, he was like, oh man, what's your name? Oh my God. I'm like, oh yeah. It's like, oh James, that's real cool, man. And like, it's like, I got something for you, man. Put it on my wrist. And I'm like, I'm not gonna buy it. Oh no, it's okay. It's free. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not buying it. I don't have any money. And put it on my wrist and stuff. He tied it and everything. And mind you, like, he's kind of a muscular guy. I'm a big dude too, man. I get down. If I have to, I'll get down with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm Mr. like Rocky Balboa, but I'll fight like you're trying to kill me. Listen, either I'm gonna win or you're gonna remember me. That's the only way that's going. Basically, he's like, okay, well, if you could just leave me a little donation or something right when I was leaving. I'm like, no, I told you I'm not paying for it. And I kept walking, and he was freaking out. He almost ran up on me, and I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Exploration and trials.
Back to his tent.
Adventuring is right up my alley.
Very common scam. If you see like people with the little bracelet thing and they're out walking around trying to sell bracelets, just I wouldn't even engage, right? There's plenty of shops you can go to if you really want a bracelet. We'll do it in an official capacity. It's not the walk around type of thing. The tents are kind of sketchy, real sketchy. Honestly, I wouldn't even do it. The problem is I'm aggressive back and got a free bracelet out of it. That's what happened to me. I got a free bracelet out of it. I fight back. I'm telling you, I'm not going. The bracelet thing happened to me. Well, I'm pretty sure if any of you guys have gone through the same thing, the same scam, the bracelet scam, let me know in the comments down below, because it definitely is. It's common. It's way more common than you would think. It's annoying. It's not just in Europe though. That's why I wanted to bring up my experience. It was not in Europe. This was when I was in the Bahamas. Not Europe at all. This happens literally all over the place. So just things to look out for. In last summer, we were declining the free bracelets, but the guy still put that on us anyways. I'm the only one who still has it on. Listen, the trick to these very persistent people who decide to try to scam you out of your money, especially with the bracelet scam, is walking away with the bracelet. Walking away with the bracelet. They're gonna try to like, you know, harass you, get their buddies on you, whatever. Just be willing to fight, because I'm telling you, they're gonna make you keep the bracelet and then say that you owe them money, and if you don't give them money, they're gonna say you stole it.
If you're ever traveling in Europe, I need to tell you about a scam, not really a scam, but like a tourist trap that deals with ATMs. So in pretty much any country in Europe, you're gonna see these ATMs that say Euronet. They typically are yellow with these blue letters, blue and white and yellow, okay? Now it is a real ATM, it will give you your money, but there's a couple things that they do are kind of sneaky, and especially when you're in a foreign
Instead of confining themselves to the heavens, God should broaden their horizons in the world below.
So the first thing is, when you put your card in to take out money, the amounts that they're going to show you are going to be ridiculously high, and because you don't know the currency, you might not be aware. So like, to give you an idea, 10,000 Hungarian, whatever it's called, is equivalent to 27 euros. The numbers that it's showing, 100,000, which is equivalent to 270 euros. It's not like a regular ATM where it's going to show you like 20 euros, 40 euros, 60. No, the first numbers they show you are a huge amount of money, and let me show you why. So I chose other amount and I put 10,000. Like I said, 10,000 is equivalent to 27 euros. But look what happens. This includes a 13.37 markup. That's a lot of money. Now this isn't true necessarily everywhere. For example, I've taken out cash at a Euronet ATM in Paris because I was desperate and it was there. And in Paris, they have a flat fee of 4 euros. And so depending on what I'm taking out, 4 euros, I'm like, whatever, that's fine. But
that's another thing to keep in mind. Something that I'm a little bit skeptic about, but I use them anyways, are the wild fees and conversion rate transactions and whatnot. Fortunately, my particular bank always gives me back. It actually specifically gives me back any bank fees, any ATM fees I've had to pay, any ATM fee. So if I get quote-unquote scammed, I get my money back at the end of the month. It's incredible, not very common, but my bank in particular definitely does that. So
places in other countries, for example, when they're making them big, the first one is super huge, and then when you get to the end, you see that huge markup fee. 13%, if you're taking out a good amount of money, that's a lot. And unfortunately, since I've been here in Budapest, I've only seen Euronet ATMs, so I've kind of been stuck with that. Just keep an eye out for it.
Definitely be on your P's and Q's whenever you're traveling to any country about like money situations, especially like when using ATMs or currency exchanges, things of that nature. I have a story here in South Korea actually. So I went to a currency exchange to go pay my rent, but I had a bunch of US dollars that I had taken out. So I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna go ahead. Like I had cash on me, like US dollar cash or whatever, and I know I'm like, oh, I need to convert this. So I went to the currency exchange, and there's several currency exchanges, right? And go in there, and I had been to this currency exchange before, but I never really paid attention to how they did the conversion rate, and they had the conversion rates on the board. Now, little interesting, because I gave this individual $2,000 in American cash, and the gentleman that ran the currency exchange, I saw him put the money inside the money counter, and it only counted 1,400 US dollars, and I gave him, mind you, 2,000 US dollars cash, and I'm like, excuse me, sir, you took out $600. Count the other $600. He's like, oh, no, commission. I looked on the board, and there was no mention of commission at all. And even if there was a commission, $600? $600 cash money? Now, I know you guys are going to ask, did I get my money back? The answer is no. He kept the money. And the thing is, you can't really make a big stink about it in Korea. You can't jump over the counter, beat the guy senseless, and get your money back. Yeah, it hurt, but I learned a very expensive lesson that day. How have you been to Hungary 3 times and don't know what the currency is called? Damn, I already knew they were about to come at her head talking about that. I'm like, you don't know the name of the currency? Guess what? I don't either, but I've never been to Hungary. I've been living in Europe since I've been born, and I've never seen this. Well, you must be one of the lucky ones, because tourists like this. Now, I'd say this isn't that bad to me, as the story I just told you guys. I guess I didn't raise a big enough stink about it. I definitely did try to challenge him while I was in there, but then like, out of the fucking store. I mean, I tried like letting the local authorities know, and they did not do anything about it. Okay, I guess I just got robbed in broad daylight.
Following thunder!
Light it up! Fulfill our path!
Take this!
How's this? Rise with the sun! Get to work!
To the ferry!
Next to us, the two people across from us that kept putting on money, right? This couple was the couple in front of us was doing.
Yeah.
Many insects have a compulsion to follow the light, and humans are the same. Except we call that light hope.
Burn it down! Take this!
Fulfill our pact!
Rise with the sun!
Show no mercy!
Find the wind!
Ich habe mich gerade nichts mehr zu sagen, was ich euch so zeigen kann. Der tägliche Grind geht im Bett weiter, ne? Danke fürs Zuschauen, I guess. Und bis zum nächsten Mal.